Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. So we've had a live stream since our last upload, and what we've done is we've kind of started building the habitation area, which is what we're going to be doing. Specifically, we have this kind of floor and a pattern with windows. This allows people to see downwards into the shipyard that will be in the bottom section. And then I've also made a roof for where the hangars are supposed to be, so that you don't see a ton of wires. And if I show you in here, you'll see that all the wires are done. That's a really bad place to grind there, because you can't get through. No, that's the wrong thing. I'm so bad at this. Give me a second. Right. So as you can see here, everything has conveyors. The conveyors aren't built, but I'm going to unleash a secret weapon in the future. So basically, looks kind of like a trench run, but every single one is now hooked up to one network. And all of these hangars also have oxygen as well, so that's good for when we add the oxygen onto the station. So if I get out here, so what we're doing this episode is we are sorting out the method of getting from the hangar to this floor, which we'll be using the Grav-tubes. I think I should get a corner one actually, because I'm going to need a corner one. Corner, put that there. Yeah. I'm going to mass do everything later, but yeah. Basically, these Grav-tubes are like gravity generators, except you can go through them, and they look cool. So what you do is you reduce the parameters of the gravity field so that it affects only that block, and then you can change how much acceleration. You can basically make magnetic railguns with these, like much easier than you'll create railguns with regular gravity generators, because you can actually have the item flowing inside, which is kind of cool. So you can have a lot more. Yeah. So the plan is we have two pipes, one that goes down and one that goes up. So if I come up here, what we're going to do is we're going to make kind of a small room in each one, and basically we're going to have one that you go down, and then we have one that goes up and then has a corner that fires you in this direction, so that you will hit the wall, except it wouldn't be that direction because the arrow is pointing downwards. Give me a second. There we go. So you would go upward into the wall, so that the wall would catch you, and then you'd have an airlock which will allow you to enter here. This room can be pressurized, but usually won't be, because I decide it won't be. And also we're going to build walls and some additional airlocks using, I think, these merge block boarding tubes, which they're like merge blocks, except you can go through them. You know, it's ingenious. You can just walk through them. They can merge two things together, which is very useful. So any ships that come along, they can merge with this. Their power gets restored. Everything good. Possibly add some sort of connector stuff to it, so we can transfer inventory. But yeah. And then they can disconnect and everything else, which is good. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to need some small steel tubes, obviously, so that we can build one of these Grav-tubes. That's the one thing that I didn't put on my welder ship. Small steel tubes. Yeah. I've built a lot of glass, because, you know, windows require glass, and it's a 8x6 thing, and it's, you know, made it into a pattern so that it works. Yeah. If you want to see the entire building process, which you know, I don't think you'd want to watch the entire one, you can watch the live stream. Live stream is where a ton of building happens. Okay, so we have Grav-tubes. So this is going to be the downwards one. So basically we want one here, switch it around so that it goes downwards, and then we want it going down continuously until it hits the bottom. There we go, and it should just deposit people on there. What we'll have to do is we'll have to decrease the gravity stuff. So, well, in this bottom half, because we're going to have gravity generators on this station bit, this walking bit, so we don't actually need these grav tubes using gravity, which is useful, reduces the power requirement. So that's the exit, which you'll just be deposited like under here and then be able to walk out. Hopefully without anyone crushing you to death, because that would be kind of bad. So, we need small steel tube, motors, construction component, computers, steel plate, bulletproof glass, and gravity generator components. I'll be back in a second once I've got all those components together. Alright, I have gathered components. Okay, so if I just park myself here, actually no. Let's start welding, because I need to do some manually as well. Yeah, small steel tubes require manual assistance. And then I will need to go into the hangar to be able to finish that one off, which I'll do in a second. Right, and then I need welder, and then we just weld these up. As you can see, it has one G of gravity being thrown at us, well, 1 G of acceleration, and as we increase these, the gravity is going to get absolutely ridiculous. Now, this is because you cannot set defaults for modded blocks when it comes to gravity generators. So all of these are going to act as regular gravity generators, which is not helpful in the slightest. Right, there we go, we're at the top. Oh, I did manage to do that, okay. So basically, if I was to let go here, yeah, I would go shooting down like this, and then hit the floor at like 1 billion miles per second. What? No. Don't use miles, and billion is a bit too much. Okay, so we are going to need a control panel, which I did have one here. I was trying to mess around with making it so we only need 1 tube, but that's never going to happen. I need construction components, obviously. Right, computer display construction component. Computer. Oh, I need a display from the capital ship, the Surveyor, not the capital ship. We're building a capital ship later. It's very hard to say very quickly. Capital ship, capital ship. Okay, so let's get a control panel. Of course, I don't have welder assigned to 6 on that selection. You can change between different toolbars using the control and number keys. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my tools on the same numbers so that I don't have to do anything weird. Okay, so if we access control panel, quick question, do these have control panels? No, okay, that's not useful. Okay, so we can access these grav tubes here. I love how it's flashing on and off. And then what we want to do is we want to decrease the field width to about 3 meters, field height to 3 meters, field depth to 3 meters. This basically means that it will encompass the block and a tiny bit of extra space. I actually need to find something that would allow me to edit these using numbers instead, because that would be much better. Now we want to reduce the acceleration until it is like minuscule, so like 0.3. Let's simulate how this works, because it may not work. May not work as intended. That's the right hanger. Yes, correct hanger, Jake. Yes, correct one. There will be gravity generator here when I can be bothered. You go in. Yeah, you go in. Jetpack's off. You're going downwards. Jetpack is now off for some reason. It's probably detecting that gravity is not sufficient. So let's get the acceleration higher. I need to fiddle with these numbers until I get a really good value. Let's try 0.1. 0.9. 0.9 should work. Right, so oh, come on. You want to work. Right, this is 0.9. Kind of hitting everything. I love how turning is just like really annoying this thing. Yeah, this thing is very iffy. That's fine. Did damage myself a bit there. Turn jetpack on, you fool. Still need to test this. Jetpack on, go downwards. Stop it. Stop moving the camera. God. Okay, so as you can see, that's how the gravity generators work. Well, that's how the grav tubes work. That's a down one. The up one is similar, except we're going to have to do something magical with that. So the upwards one, what we're going to do is we want you to walk into this one. So we're going to need to drill this up a bit. 7. Let's move you over here. No. Yep. Control 3, sorry. Right. So we want this thing going up like this. Yeah, but turned around a bit. At some point, I'll get this to work, and it will be amazing. Right, there we go. So we want this, which will allow you to walk in and then go upwards, which should be good. Actually, on top here, what we should do is have it so that you walk in instead of falling in. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I mean, I've yet to test this mod fully, so I don't know what every single block does, because if you look here, there are several blocks, like transition, like ejector, terminus, all these things. Yeah, I need to actually investigate how all those work, but that should be fine. Flip this round, so now we go upwards instead of downwards. Right, so we go up to here, and then what we do is we have you, we flip you around so that you're like this. Have it so that you go out like this, good, and then we need to weld. Right. Okay, let's weld, so get in here, start welding. Slow down, you don't need to go that fast. Right, so that should be all of them. Let's get out. Kind of in the wrong orientation, but that's fine. As you can see, this one still has a gravity generator going upwards, so it's useful. So, the way that we're actually going to weld all of these together is, well, for starters, it's annoying to have to weld all of these manually. Oh, we need more bulletproof glass, do we? Yes, that would be a problem. Let me grab some more. So, because welding all the, like, complex components that use computers and, like, a ton of different things all in one, we are going to use something called a nanite factory, which will... It's basically remote welding, and it's automated. So what we do is we throw all of our component cargo into the station, and then what happens is the nanite factory will pull from that, and will use those to build the things that need building on the station. So it's stuff that's not being completed in construction. So all the conveyors, conveyor pipes and things like that that we have lying around all of those will then all of those will then be welded remotely by the nanofactory. We may want to throw some additional ones because they may be a bit slow, and I'm going the wrong way, and this is the wrong side. Well done. Over here, please. Thank you. Right, so, yeah, that's how we're doing things. Oh, I need some more stuff. That's annoying. Let me go down here and weld the rest of these. Okay, right. These are very hard to fly through, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so, oh, that's the wrong way around. Damn it. Why are you doing this to me? Right, control group 3, you, I want you facing the other way, please. Come on. There we go, right. Keep messing around with orientation, it's going to kill me. Okay, so there we go, those grav tubes are in place. Let's head back down and reprogram them. You see me going backwards. Do 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 do. Yeah, the station is, you know, taking shape quite quickly. Okay, so what we now want to do is we want to do the same for all the grav tubes. Reduce to 3, reduce to 3, reduce to 3. Reduce to 0.9. Now, the problem is, when these grav tubes are being used, we are going to need to... That's a problem, give me a second. We are going to need to increase the gravity of this side so that they get thrown up quicker than the gravity is pulling them down. So we're going to have to work out what gravity thing we want on the station, but until then I'm going to keep it like this. Field width... No, 3. There we go. So that should be good. Okay, so what we do is we go in, we go in, we go in, we go in, for God's sake. What is wrong with you? Right, and then we take off our jetpack, and then we go whee all the way down. Get rid of that. And then we're supposed to get thrown out this side. But I guess that's not going to work. My god, the camera is a bit glitchy with that. I'll refine it over time. Okay, so what we want the corner 3, we want additional acceleration, like even more, and then this, we want a kick of acceleration as well, because this is the entrance, and then we want the grav tube that's at the top, which I cannot identify properly, is also going to have some more kick. So by turning off the, by increasing the gravity here, you're still being accelerated, but there's a lot more acceleration when you get to the ends, if that makes sense. It's only needed for the corners because the corners need to throw you out the other side. And I think I just need to increase the G's of the corners, the third corner, which is actually the second corner. Just double it and that should be good. Okay, so this is how you get up and down. I'll make it look prettier. That's what I keep saying anyway. Yeah, so now what I've got to do is I've got to duplicate it on every single one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 of them. That's going to be entertaining, to say the least. So yeah, we've got 10 of those to... no, yes, we've got several more of those to build. There we go, that's the right word. Right, so the next thing that we're going to do is here. So under each of these is, well, above each of these is a conveyor block, which is basically airtight. What we want to do is we want these conveyor air vents, which are both conveyors and air vents. Clue is in the title. And we want to place these across the ceiling, wherever these conveyors appear. And then also what we want to do is we want conveyor pipes going downwards so that we can access machines and things. But we're going to do that next episode. But for now, building conveyor air vents is a priority. And that's going to be annoying. So, these conveyor air vents are both conveyors and air vents. I believe I've said that before. And this will allow us to pump oxygen into this massive room. And we'll have 10 of them, which will make it faster in case, you know, a hull breach, you know, jettisons all of everything, which will not happen under my watch. Yes. So after we do those, we actually want to extend the station. Oh no, extending the station, what are you thinking about? Basically, if we take a look at the front, and this is probably something for another live stream, what we want to do is we want to have this going inwards. So this side would go inwards, this like edge would go inwards into one corner, this will go inwards, this will go inwards, and everything will be fine, he says. Yeah, so we continue going inwards. We might make it staggered, so we may go inwards a bit, stop, or something like that. But basically it's to make sure that we don't just have like a massive side that's featureless. Apart from that, everything else structurally has been completed. I'm going to get rid of this here as well because it's not needed anymore because I have a different plan. The plan being using shipyard blocks. These, which I will go onto conveyor, thing 4. You've got corners, you've got regulars, and you've got extra large, and they are large, to say the least. And what these will do is they are massive welders with very long range, which will allow you to weld ships, entire ships, very easily. And I said we're building a capital ship. Here is where we're building it, in this underbelly of the station. Okay, that will do for this episode. So, these done. The flooring nearly done, because I just need to do a bit more glass. We also need to work on the walls and get some airlocks and things like that, which will be fun. We also need to do the conveyor system, and then we need to get some machines. The machines will probably be on the ceiling. Yeah. What we might do is we might split some of the room up into 2 floors, so a bottom floor and a top floor. The bottom floor will be all one. The top floor will include machines, such as refineries, assemblers, all that other stuff. We are very close to be able to move out from the surveyor and into the station, which will make everything much easier. Until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.